I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. On Cosplay Cafe. Yeah, I'm a cosplayer. You know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the con floor. Yeah, on the con floor. Oh, on the con floor. Yeah, I do my little turn on the con floor. And I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. On Cosplay Cafe. And I'm too sexy for this song.
Hi, everybody. I'm back already. Welcome to the Cosplay Cafe, where we always serve up a hot, steaming cup of cosplay. And this week, we are also still doing the Multiverse fundraiser for comic books for kids. So let me find that little ticker that I keep forgetting to put across the screen here. If we have it, there we are. Whoops. You'd think I'd be a little more on top of things, but it's been a week. But since we are talking comic books for kids, we are going to be discussing doing volunteer and charity work in cosplay. So, is my lovely co-host ready? Or you ready? All right. So first off, I'm going to bring in the lovely Aubrey.
Hello.
Welcome. How's it going?
I'm doing better. I actually threw on a cosplay that I've never done before. I have my Poison Ivy, the dark Poison Ivy, on for the first time. So I'm debuting her.
We get the first look at this. I love it. Mm-hmm. And we will take better when we ask how people are doing, because at this point we don't expect anybody to go, I'm doing great.
Right. A lot going on.
The world is happening and we're just going to make it through. So our guest for today, I've known him for, I don't even know how many years now. If you are in the Memphis area, you know this man, you love him. You love to hate when he gets into a certain character. He is Mr. J. Here is Mr. Chris Jowers.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Apologize for my Johnny Cage cosplay, but I'm just getting over an eye thing, and my left eye does not look very presentable right now. So
you could have just been the Joker that got into a fight with Batman, or Poison Ivy put something in your eye.
It honestly, this weekend, it looked a little bit more like Poison Ivy just slapped him in the face. So it's healing well, but I wanted to cover it up.
Well, we are fighting over Harley on a regular, so.
So there. Or you could just be very progressive and just become polyamorous, but it depends on the Joker version, because some of it, you just want him away from Harley.
The Killing Joke version really doesn't care.
See, that to me, as someone who enjoys the character of the Joker and really enjoys playing the Joker, the Harley Joker story is a great story when Harley defeats her addiction or that toxicity and goes beyond the Joker and becomes his new enemy, and she grows past him. That's when that works. I absolutely hate seeing memes and all this about Joker and Harley. Oh, that's the relationship I want. No, you don't. You do not want that relationship.
If you want that,
there is no growth there.
We need you to get into some therapy if that is the relationship you aspire to have.
Yeah, big time.
Like I said, it is great for story, but we like that on the real world, you are the feminist that says she needs to get away from him. You love being him, but you're like.
And to be honest, that's why I really did not like the Birds of Prey movie that they did, because I wanted to see Harley beat 3 shades of crap out of the Joker and get to the point where she's going to kill him, but something stops it. The catwalk breaks apart, the window breaks, or he pushes her away and he falls, he gets away. And they just glossed over that, in my opinion. That took a lot of what could have made it epic they kind of failed in that point. I just really didn't like. I really wanted to see Harley just beat the ever loving tar out of him.
And see, as a Joker lover from you, that is good to hear that you're like, look, the guy is messed up. Don't idolize him. You're like, I love playing him, but I don't want to be him.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I love portraying the character and the way that I do it to make people laugh, to entertain people. It's a great character to do, but it's also, you've been to conventions. There's a lot of people like that do Joker, Deadpool, and other characters that take it as a license to be an absolute jerk.
Yes.
And I'm sorry.
Not like those characters as much because of the fans.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the character that I have a problem with. It's the fans. And I'm just like, I can't deal with it anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're not Robert De Niro. You're not Daniel Day-Lewis. You're not a method actor. You're just someone looking for an excuse to be an absolute jerk. So
yes.
Just stop it.
Yeah. We already have a comment from Clyde Hawley, says, hello, Cosplay Cafe crew, and Sir Chris. You are now knighted.
Right? I love it.
Not with my lineage. There's no way.
You are that one that came up through the ranks, okay, sir?
Right.
I mean, there are those that bought their knighthood. So
I'm more I portray a pirate at Renaissance Fair, and because we did our family lineage, and there's really a lot of evidence that the Jowers family were pirates before they crashed a ship into the South Carolinas. So I don't think there's any royalty back in our bloodline, to be honest. I think we got excommunicated and exiled.
Pirates are still just as fun. They get swords too, so it's okay. It's totally fine. So, Chris, let's see. We usually ask you the first question. How did you get into cosplay?
Well, actually, I didn't. I was going to conventions and setting up as a writer. I was working with the artist Jim Hall on graphic novels, and that's how I first started going to conventions. And it was Jeremy Jones, who used to do Batman and Iron Man, a brother of mine. I mean, he's no longer a friend; he's my brother. And he was doing Batman, and he came up, and I've been voicing Joker in some fan stuff that I did. A buddy of mine went overseas, another brother of mine went overseas and was serving when his first child was born. And he's a huge Batman fan, and we knew he was having a tough time. So I came up with this idea called Arkham for America, where we did letters to the troops from the inmates of Arkham Asylum. So we got his friends and family together, and we all chose characters. And I did Joker, Bane, and Killer Croc. And it was basically like Joker saying, if your boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating on you while you're overseas, you send an email to jokersgonna@hotmail.com. And it was this. So every letter to the troop, and I did Joker's voice to Jeremy, and he just was like, holy, have you never suited up? And I'm like, at a Halloween party, I did it once. And he kind of talked me into it. And Joe Thorsted in MCFC asked me to show up as Joker for the convention one day. And he told me they were getting a lot of compliments of this entertainer that he had hired to come to the convention. And it just sort of took off from there. And I do other characters, but honestly, like when it comes to charity work specifically, they request the Joker. They'll say Cosplay Memphis is coming to Le Bon, or this is great. Is the Joker coming? So I've been very lucky and very blessed to be able to do the character.
It's like when I see you as another character, it's almost like the Joker is cosplaying.
I get that a lot.
But I also get Jeremy getting you into it because first off, you don't fight Jeremy. That's a big guy.
I could take him. He's all show, no go. Those are all show muscles. He says he's into martial arts. It's Taibo and dance. And there's nothing wrong with dance, but come on, dude. Let's be real, Jeremy. You've never fought. You've never had a real fight, Jeremy. I know you're going to watch this.
Are we going to have a SmackDown in New Zealand? We're going to go visit Jeremy?
Yes, it's on in New Zealand.
And then we're going to the Lord of the Rings sites.
Okay, I feel like a dance fight is much more appropriate in costume.
Well, I was challenged as the Joker at a convention to a dance battle, and that person deeply regretted it because Jeremy said Never challenge Jowers when he's the Joker to do anything because he'll go full bore.
Yeah. No, I just always think about when I would cosplay next to Jeremy, he'd be Captain America and I'd be Captain Marvel. And I put wedges into my Captain Marvel suit just because I looked at a picture of us next to each other and I didn't even reach his shoulder. I'm not tall, but he's very tall.
He's a tall cat. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's a tall dude.
He's a tall dude. He was our Iron Man. So see, I could see him in a dance battle with you as the Joker and him as Iron Man. I could kind of see that.
No, it was another member of Cosplay Memphis that challenged me, and Jeremy was like, "That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea." Oh, Ryan did when Ryan was doing because she was dressed as Raven, I believe, and we were at MCX, and as Raven, she challenged me, and then Jeremy was like, "Don't ever do that."
It's one of those when they go, what are the limits that we can go to right now?
And I mean, as the Joker, to me, it's honestly, it's like a little bit of therapy because it's number one, it's just raw improv performance. That is absolutely a lot of fun. But I also take a lot of pride in bringing the character to life appropriately to the audience that we're serving in Cosplay Memphis when I do it for charity work. So making sure when the kids are around, being aware that if a kid's actually like, whoa, I'm not, no, get that guy away from me. Not even gonna just, immediately back down, cower, be the cowardly Joker and get away and kind of win them over from afar if possible. To me, that's the main thing when you're doing it for charity work. Yeah. Character work is massive. It's a huge thing, especially when you're working with at-risk community, you're working with kids, sick kids, or you're working for people that are stressed out. Character work takes it up to a whole other level. Like if you know the character, you can do the voice and all that stuff. You're transporting them out of a bad situation, like being in a hospital, and you're bringing the magic to them. Yeah. So I take that real serious.
Yeah. So we have a quick comment from Jordan Armstrong. Says, shout out to Aubrey Cavett for sending me the link for this event, finding the conversation very interesting.
Oh, well, cool. Thank you. Very cool. Very Jordan.
Yeah, we could, trust me, we could probably make this thing go a whole lot longer than an hour, but we're going to try to stick to our hour. We're going to try not to let the ADHD run 10 miles off the rails.
Well, hit me with the questions.
Well, Hermes says hello. He wants to be part of all these shows today. I've been away from home most of the week for any friends, a lot of friends everybody knows, but my mom's been in the hospital all week. So I've been staying with her. So my neighbor has been taking care of the pets. They're like, oh God, she's home. So all of them are on me today. And I can't have the heart to lock them out today. If I could take these guys to events, I would. I'm trying to see about getting my new kitten certified to be able to take to the hospitals with his one little eye. He would be so cute. Dress up as Thor and take Odin with me.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to wear an eye patch.
That would be so cute.
Do you have just off the top of your head a favorite interaction you've ever had doing volunteer work?
I've had a couple that were awesome. So for the longest time, Le Bonheur Children's Hospital did not want villains. Period. Yeah. They wanted no villains. And Jeremy, James, and John Scanlon both were like talking to Amy, who's our contact there. He's like, you got to give Jowers a chance. You got to give Chris a chance. He's so good with the kids. He's gone to all these other events. And I told him, I was like, I'll never complain about it. I completely understand why. I'll come in and interview. I'll come in and perform. I'll do a video, whatever you want to do, I'll do it. And finally they said, okay, we'll have the Joker come. Because they were hearing from other people in the community that weren't in Cosplay Memphis that knew of us that were like, this guy is hilarious. He's great with the little kids. They absolutely love him. And he really does take it seriously to make sure it's a toned down, funny version of the character. And that first trip to Le Bonheur was magic because it hit me, but it was also, so I was working with Tim Rucker, who does Captain America for us at times. And we got to go to we got to do in-room visits.
Yeah.
So we did a game show in the morning. And the Joker was there. So they got to see that the Joker was there and I'm messing with the heroes and, playing my little pranks. And so Tim and I went upstairs together. And I told Tim, it's like, you go in first and I'll be in the hallway and I'll do the laugh in the hallway. And if the kid kind of like, whoa, what was that? Just kind of backs off and all that, the nurse will give me a sign, or one of the people working with us will give me a sign, and I won't go in. And there was a little girl that was she was gone through treatment and she was recovering. And Tim goes in there, and Tim is wonderful. He is wonderful at these events. He's so good. And he really embodies Captain America when he goes and he suits up.
He is Cap when he suits up. Like, I tell him, like, to me, you are Captain America.
Yeah, he is just absolutely brilliant when it comes to charity work. And he went in first and he visited with the little girl, and I did the laugh, and she motioned me to come in. And Tim told me, he goes, the second she heard you laugh, that little girl was already excited that Captain America was there. And she went, "Is the Joker here?" And the energy level suddenly spiked up. So I come in and I immediately insult the parents, insult the brother and sister, just destroy the guy. I cannot believe you're wearing white past Labor Day. I mean, get it together. Like just insult. But the kid's amazing. She's glorious. Talk about how wonderful she is and all this. And she's laughing and smiling. And they're like, "Hey, can we get a picture? Do you want a picture with Captain America and the Joker?" She gets up out of bed, like literally jumps out of bed. And she is still with the monitors and everything on her. And the mother just stops and just kind of pulls back. And we don't think anything of it. It's like, there's a picture of me and Tim, like, yeah, taking a picture with a little girl. And then the mother says, like, she has been so low energy that it's been a kind of a struggle to get her out of bed a little. And you guys came in. And there was a lot of those little moments where there was someone that was upset with how treatment had gone, or they had a bit of marks on their face from the chemo and things like that. And just sitting with the kids and just being the Joker and being supportive and being uplifting and being positive, to see them go from like kind of here to just like laughing. And now they're up and they're moving around. There's no feeling like that. And I cannot thank Cosplay Memphis and LeBonner for trusting us to do things like that. Because when it comes to cosplay, when it comes to suiting up, do whatever you want to do. Dress how you want to dress. You want to be Galactus working at Burger King? Go for it. I want to see it. I'm there for it.
I want to see that.
Yeah. But when it comes to charity work,
yes,
it's not the same. Because this is a service. You are showing up to entertain and bring the magic to people who at times desperately need it. Yeah. They need that uplifting entertainment, and that's what you're doing. And it's not about your Instagram likes. It's not about posting content. You are there for them. You have to be professional. You need to show up on time. You need to be in character, and you need to realistically be the character.
Yeah, you need to have that energy.
Yes, you have to have that energy.
What you have, Chris. That's what I've seen.
Oh, Aubrey, we'll have to get you at an event where you get to see the Joker in his full glory.
And I apologize.
I would love to play off the Joker, because I've already have a friend who I convinced to do a Joker at our local anime convention. And one of the most fun was when a little girl wanted to be Harley and us fight over her. And I'm like, yeah, honey, we're going to do this. So we got down really low, and one of us was pulling one way and the other was pulling the other way. And it had no money. There was nothing we were getting out of it. But she asked us, she's like, can I be the Harley in the middle? And we're like, oh my God. Yes. Because it feels like that. So as somebody who's never done it professionally, I can understand as a cosplayer, but I would love to do that in the future. I've been looking for some local organizations that I can join to do cosplay, because I do other cosplays, and I'd love to do that also. It sounds amazing. Like you've had an amazing experience doing that, Chris.
It really is. Like it got so much. We were doing it so regularly that when COVID hit, it's weird. My father is not a geek guy. He's a hunter. He's a sportsman. He enjoys the action side of comic books and stuff that my brother, Batman and Wolverine and Spider, like the Avengers movies. He loves those things. And he just called me out of the blue one day to check on me. And he was like, "Hey, are you doing all right? During COVID and all this." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing okay." And he goes, "You haven't been the Joker in a while. I've been kind of worried about you." Because it was such a regular, like huge thing for me to do and be so, pumped up about it.
I actually, like mentioning COVID, I went through so much during COVID between my house fire lockdown and then my dad passing.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dogs just started fighting. Whoa. But I used the volunteer work that we could do and the virtual volunteer work as my therapy.
Yeah.
Putting on that costume, even if it was just to make a 30-second video to tell a kid happy birthday from Captain Marvel, that was my therapy. And that's what I think people don't get once you start doing the volunteer side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Conventions are for you.
Yes.
The volunteer side is for someone else. And I love both sides. But when I joined Cosplay Memphis as well, that's what made me go from, I almost stopped cosplaying because most of my friends were moving or couldn't do it as much anymore. And I was alone. I joined a group of like-minded people, and that re-energized me, and having everybody support me. And it got me through a lot of dark times.
It really can be a shot in the arm in so many ways.
And got 3 little purple hearts from Vivian Foster, who Vivian is one of my best friends in the Memphis cosplay community. Amazing person as well. Oh, my Great Dane wants to say hi to everybody. Her head will eventually be in this camera. I want to be able to get her. I would love to get this dog certified. Hold on, and take her to Le Bonheur. Look at her. She a big girl.
The cute big baby. Oh my goodness.
She loves people, and her whole goal in life is just to be pet by everybody. I took her to one trunk or treat Cosplay Memphis did. She got more attention than the 4 of us in costume.
No, you can't compete with dogs. You just can't do it. You can't do it.
Dogs and kids are just too much.
Dogs. She passed out in the parking space next to the car because she was so tired from the kids. She's a good girl. No, I love it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's the thing it did for me being a cosplayer. It changed my mentality. It went from wondering where are my followers? Why don't I have more likes than I think I should have? And it's still validating to get those likes, those followers. You're like, oh, people like what I do. But that little kid liking what you do makes it a whole different feel.
To me, it's when you get that with the parents. Even at the Bonheur, I love going to Le Bonheur and being there with the kids and working with the families, but I also love entertaining the staff. Like I will mess with the nurses, the doctors, especially the admin, the security, every staff person that's there. I'm going to say something to them. I'm going to give them a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes of Joker time because they're doing a great job. They're doing amazing work over there. But
that's hard to do day in and day out. Hospital work is hard enough. Children's hospitals, I can't even imagine because, and that's the thing is we go in and we see these kids, we're dressed up in these costumes of heroes that they love or princesses, all these different things.
Or villains. You know what? This is a little, classist of you. And
it is. Look, hero here, babe. But, they see these characters that they idolize. But you're looking at them and you're like, you're the strong one. These are these kids walking down to these events with IV poles and other things attached to them, but they want to come down to these events and see these characters. And it puts a lot of things into perspective.
And the great thing about the charity work is no matter what your fandom is, there's always a group that can represent it. There's always a group that can bring you in. If Star Wars, you have the 501st, you have the Mandalorian Mercs that are absolutely wonderful organizations, especially the Mid-South Garrison and the
they're so much fun.
The Basulix Clan. I might have actually said that incorrectly. I apologize, guys, if I said that correctly. But see, both of those organizations sometimes gets flack because to join and suit up, you really have to make it look realistic. You have to fit this thing. And there's a reason.
Criteria.
But there's a reason there's this criteria.
Yeah.
Because you will, when they show up, they look like they walked out of a film. They look like the Imperial lander landed and the stormtroopers and the officers have walked out, or the Jedi are there, or whoever. And that is a big deal. So when you're doing it for charity, or now if you're doing like a community event or something like that, that's kind of not what I'm talking about. But when you're really going to do like working for doing children's hospital, or a larger charity, or even a professional organization has invited you to come, you have to be able to represent that character. And I am not speaking of race or gender. I am not speaking of those things whatsoever. But what I'm saying is that kid looks at you and goes, that's Batman.
Yep.
That's Captain America. That is not someone dressed as. That's not someone in a costume. And even adults will be like, that's pretty cool. Because the more detailed, or the character work you do, or just the way that you carry yourself, you are breaking that illusion. You're breaking that sort of that wall between you to help them buy into that illusion. And that can mean everything to a person. And I absolutely love to see it.
We talk about the kids side of it a lot, but like you said, the adults, there are so many that they're living their childhood through seeing this too. And I love the ones that go, I wished I could do that. And we just look at them and go, you can. Don't let anybody tell you. Because some of them go, oh, I wish I was young enough to do that. And then when we tell them the ages of a lot of the people in Cosplay Memphis, we're not a bunch of 20-somethings.
One of my favorite community events we did the Redbirds game.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I did Joker there. And they wanted all the characters at certain exits. Like, okay, we want you here, and you're going to stay here, and you're going to stay here, and you're stay here. And Jeremy was looking at me as Joker. I was like, yes, of course, exactly. Sounds like
can't contain Joker.
And Jeremy was like, he's going to walk clean off. And the second the huddle broke, I walked where they said, they didn't say not to do it, but it was the handlers saying, you won't be comfortable if you go. I walked to the fan section. I walked up into the bleachers. I was invited to bachelor parties. There's a guy, their bachelor party was there, and I messed with the bachelor and the boys. Families were having like huge get-togethers, and they invited the Joker over there. People love that magic. And they really want to embrace it. So if this is something you want to get into, you've got to be able to bring that. Yeah. And if you feel that you can't, you might not be able to do it now, but that doesn't mean you can't develop yourself to get to that level. And that's just about pushing yourself to do it.
The first time you do it, you do feel a little like, okay, how far can I go? This is a little weird. I mean, most of us are like throw off theater kids, but you go and you're like, so how far can I take it with this crowd? And then the more you get into it, the more you're like, who cares? I'm just going to do certain things. And, you, like you said, though, you read the room, you figure out what you can.
Oh, yeah.
But I do miss those Redbirds games. I don't care how hot it was. They were so much fun.
Well, that's the great thing about being the Joker. You're wearing layers, but it's fabrics, so there's nothing like clinging onto you. Yeah. So I've learned to develop the suit in a way that I can maneuver pretty easily.
The very last one we ever did was a Star Wars night, and Mark Meeker showed up as Emperor Palpatine with the full pull-on mask, and I'm like, how did we not pick him up off the ground?
Mark is a champion, and I have been friends with Mark and March for a long time. Mark absolutely loves doing the charity stuff. He's so great at it.
We have a really good core group, and if you don't have one in your area, start one. Don't wait for one. That's how we started. Our founder wanted to do something more with her cosplay. She got some friends together, and here we are now. And people know us. Like, we get requested to come to do our repair table at cons, or people are like, oh, is Cosplay Memphis going to be there? So I'm going to read this. This is a nice comment from Jordan Armstrong. It says, I'd love to dress as Goofy for a charity. I'm actually really good at his voice and would love to do it for a good cause. I must say I respect anyone who cosplays for charity. It's a wonderful thing to see and hear about.
And well, Jordan, go ahead and do it, man. And the best way to do it is if you're doing it for when you're going out for charity, is to contact when you see that they're having Disney days or something like that, start making inroads. But remember, the best way to make those things is be professional in all of your communication.
Yes.
When people say no, be gracious at the no. I have been told no with a history and a huge line of references to be the Joker at events. St. Jude still will not allow the Joker to come with Cosplay Memphis. And I'm absolutely okay with that.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm absolutely okay with that.
It sucks that they're not getting that experience, but we also understand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it does. And the thing is that it's just bad other people that do your character that they'll just, okay, well, that was a bad experience, so we're never going to do that again.
Yeah. And that's
Jordan, go for it, buddy. Go for it. You can do it, man.
Sad thing, is like, just like you said, with at the cons, the Jokers and the Deadpools and the characters of that nature that turn a lot of people off to it because they take it as a license to just be a jerk and act like the worst version of that character from the comics or the movies.
And I'll tell you what, is that Joker is a bit of an insult comic. And how I people. Well, the thing is, I never attack or insult the person directly at all.
Never.
It's always superficial things like clothing or shoe choice. That is, they look great.
Yeah.
But I'm the Joker, so I'm gonna find the little faults. And we did the zombie walk as the undead Rat Pack, and I was Frank Sinatra, and Frank was absolutely brutal with his dark humor and his jibes and stuff like that, and how he would take at people. And we went downtown Memphis, and here I am as Frank Sinatra, just being brutal to the crowd, calling out things, saying things, and people were eating it up.
Mm-hmm.
We're eating it up. But you have to find that fine line. You really do have to find a fine line of being the character and being, hey, I really want to portray the character, but also I need to alter it and change it to fit the venue, to fit the audience. I mean, I've been kicked, punched, beat up by so many kids in pictures where it's like, they're like, I don't want to get a picture with the Joker. And as the Joker, I say, well, why don't you go ahead and punch me in the face? You put your fist out there. And then they're like, oh, I can do that. And so there's numerous pictures of kids looking like they're breaking my jaw, punching me in the stomach, knocking me over the head with something. And you just adapt to it. You just adapt to the audience.
I think the most fun I had at a photo shoot was when we had a tiny Batman. And so I'm one of the villains or the anti-hero, whatever. And so, that he gets to attack the villains. He's a tiny little kid in a Batman costume. And it was the most fun to do that. And every time that I have a kid that's like, can I get a picture with you? Mm-hmm. I love that you said that, because part of cosplaying and portraying this character to children, especially around children, is you want to make it a little campy. You want to make it a little fun. You want to make it safe and comfortable. And the way to do that is to take it to the cartoony level, when you're around kids, especially. You can take it to the more voracious level and inappropriate levels when you're around adults, because they like and appreciate that humor. But for kids, you want to draw them into the world. You want to show them the safe, fun side of it. Exactly. So that's where we pull the camp in with all these characters.
The exact word you use, safe. You want the kids safe. And, that's why whenever there's certain things that we all back off of and we're like, can't do that. We're not going to touch that because, we don't want anybody to assume we're going to do something inappropriate. So, sometimes you have to distance yourself. We've got a couple more comments, and then we're going to get to our pictures because we're already past the halfway point. Wow. Jordan said, thank you. I appreciate all of your encouragement. I definitely plan to make that a reality, as well as many of my other dreams. Go for your dreams. That's what my last panel, Creek Wilson, said, if you got a dream, go for it. Mm-hmm. And then from Clyde Hall, it said, a super goof would be a fun cosplay. My wife plays Snoopy and has several versions, including a super Snoopy. It's a big kid crowd pleaser. I need a super Snoopy. I love Snoopy.
I love that. And I could totally do the redhead from the Goofy movie.
Oh, yes. We love this. All right. You ready to tell us about some of these pictures, Mr. J?
Let's do it.
Love that it works both for Joker and your actual name.
Yeah, it works. It works pretty good. So this was actually in San Antonio, not San Antonio, excuse me, Space City Con. And the reason why I put it up there is these were two kids that were standing offish as I was just entertaining the crowd that had gotten around me as the Joker. And they were like, "Can we get over and get a picture with them?" They were so apprehensive. And then just by working with them and laughing with them, they went from like kind of being pensive to like, "Yes, let me get in there. Like, I've got to get in there, get a picture with the Joker." And they were absolutely brilliant guys. They were hilarious.
We love that.
This was a charity event that I believe we did for Bluff City Batman that a pizza place in Memphis set up. And of course, the people at the pizza place had no idea what was really happening. Okay. They had no idea. So everyone was there. Batman was already there. Iron Man was already there. Harley was already there. And then when I walked in, some of the kids were like, "Are you just going to let him walk in? Like, what's going on?" And then just sitting there working with them, they like the shyness is gone. They're running up. They're wanting to take pictures. They're talking with me. They're laughing with me. I absolutely loved it.
That is amazing.
And this was one of the Night to Shine proms that we've done with Cosplay Memphis. This are some of the absolutely epic 501st people of the Mid-South Garrison that we have partnered with Cosplay Memphis at a lot of events. And this was absolutely great. I believe this was Hope Presbyterian Church that puts this on for their students. It was such a wonderful event, such a great time.
We're signed back up to do Night to Shine this year. It's in 2 weeks, but it's in a different church. It's not at Hope anymore.
Yeah, they changed it. I know that they've changed it. And unfortunately, I've not been able to with scheduling. Unfortunately, since I moved out of Memphis, I haven't been to as many events as I used to do every event I possibly could.
That's me. I'm like, oh, it's on a day I can be there. I'm there.
Yeah. And but again, this was specifically for, this was the kids' prom that they were putting on for their students. For the students in the organization. So you're working with the young people at their prom as an entertainment. You're not supposed to be the show. Yeah. You're not supposed to be the main draw. You're supposed to add to the environment. And that's what a lot of the time we do in these charity events is we're not the main attraction. We're not the reason the people are there. We're there to add to the event. And this just shows you a great number of wonderful people. Again, I cannot say enough about the 501st Cosplay Memphis and the Mandalorian Mercs because we've just had such a great experience working with them at all these events.
We all work well together. All right, here we go.
And this is Frank Sinatra. This is Undead Frank Sinatra
nice.
Here.
This is my first time seeing this.
Andrew Chandler. I cannot take credit for the makeup. Andrew Chandler did the makeup. We went to the Horror Con, Monster Con, that the Memphis Monster Con in its inaugural thing. But he said such a great job. And Huff Photo, Brian Huff did the picture there. And I just wanted to throw it in there because even the monstrous, by the way, okay, that's terrifying. That's not going to show up at Le Bonheur, okay? But horror can still be part of charity work because horror fans, and this is a weird thing to say, horror conventions are so much nicer than comic book conventions. The people are so much just genuinely nice. And I love comic book conventions and I go to comic book conventions, but going to horror conventions was such an eye-opener for me because it looks like it should be a rougher crowd and the crowd is much nicer. There's not, unfortunately, so many of the inappropriate people that show up at comic book conventions at times. Yeah. So there is a place for horror cosplay in charity work. It's there. I know that it's there. And I've seen people do Jason and Freddy to show up at community events for charity.
You just got to find that niche.
You got to find it, but you also have to remember, you've got to balance the character with the event and the audience.
Yeah. Know your crowd.
Yes.
All right. I think this is the one you were telling the story about.
Yes, this right here. There's Tim. There's Tim Rucker, the Ruck, as Captain America. And this little girl was just magic. She lit up the room brighter than Tim and I ever could. And there's me and the many different shades of Joker, the looks of Joker through the years as we go through. And we just had an absolutely fantastic time. We just really did. And she was just a treasure to meet and talk with.
I love that. Let's see. We got a few more of yours.
And there is James Fike as Batman. There's the Meeker. There's Mark Meeker's story. This was at Selmer. We go to the Selmer Children's Center for their big event. And it's about child abuse prevention. And they have always invited the cosplay people from Memphis and the area around. This is West Tennessee area to show up.
I mean, Nashville comes out and everything.
Nashvillians come out. The Mandos come out. 501st is there. And this just to show you, we have Batman, we have Thor, we have Joker. Absolutely brilliant time. And these are just some of the amazing people that I've been not only called brothers and friends, but fellow enthusiasts in the hobby, and just the great work to see. Like James as Batman is wonderful. He is absolutely wonderful. And Mark is the Lon Chaney of big characters.
Yes.
And he is the Hulk. He's Thanos. He's Captain America. He's Thor here. And he is absolutely golden at these charity events.
I will tell y'all, if you ever get to experience James Fike and Chris Jowers as Batman and the Joker together,
I carry him. Let's just be honest. Let's say it. I carry James.
The event we did at the Bowie Learning Center in summer of last year, though, you and Hunter with her as Black Widow, messing with her while she was pulling off the Russian accent was even better than you and Batman that day.
And by the way, since we have the pictures up, when you get into charity work, guys, here's the thing that you're going to know. You're not going to take pictures a lot of times.
No.
A lot of the pictures that you're seeing here, when it's the charity work, even like the Bonner, that's taken with permission by the hospital, with the family. So the picture being used there, a parent knew of it and gave us permission to use the picture for Cosplay Memphis and put it out there.
Yeah.
When you do these events, do not go in there thinking, or I say even ask to take pictures.
Just don't
as an individual. Let the organization take care of that.
I'm like, don't take your phone. Whatever pictures that get taken at the event and get posted, that means they are good to share.
Yes. It's not, and you don't want to, an honest thing like, wow, you might come in from a piece of like, wow, I really want to get this picture. I want this memory. And it's not to put on Instagram. It's not for social media. It's not for the likes and the attention, but you don't want that to be taken wrongly. You really have to worry about perception about your actions. So when you're doing charity work, you're not being paid. I've never, ever taken a dime from Cosplay Memphis or anything like that. Sometimes people will send you gifts and say as a thank you. But number one thing is you are being professional. You are acting like this is your job, and you're on time. You are clean cut. You are ready to rock and roll at a moment's notice. And you will adapt to what they ask you to do because you are there to entertain them.
Yep.
And so I also do Tennessee Renaissance Fair performance. And I want to shout out Heidi, Damon, and the crew, and Alan, because they're also people who do pirate cosplay or pirating as a charity group.
Yep.
And now this is a character that I created for Tennessee Renaissance Fair as a paid performer. But I threw this picture in there because, one, I just look so good in that picture. I mean, let's just be honest. That's a dashing image of me. But also to let you know that the pirating is out there. And there are pirate groups in Memphis. There's pirate groups in Nashville. There's pirate groups all over. If pirating is your thing, there are charity events you can do as a pirate. And Memphis has a absolutely great crew of people that go and do events.
Yeah. Angel, that's in Cosplay Memphis, is also
Angel is fantastic.
That woman knows what she's doing with a sword, so don't ever actually push her. Last one from you, Mr. J.
And this is again, these are sort of the Joker looks over time.
I love that.
And this was a Joker. We were invited to MCX, and this is Joker with Bluff City Batman with the Batmobile. And the Joker was captured was taken in by Batman and given to Arkham Asylum. And he was being forced to do community service, cleaning the Batmobile and entertaining the crowd.
Oh,
So
it was so fun.
there's a lot of different ways you can creatively get the character to the event. So
Yeah.
you can, so this way I put this as an example to say, like, well, how is the villain going to be working with the heroes? Use your creativity and create a reason so you
Yeah.
don't break the illusion. Jeremy and James and I would always be like, oh, Joker is actually is being released under my care. So it's like I would be the Joker, but cowering to Batman. I'd be real bold and brave behind his back, but then, oh no, I'm so sorry. No, we have a truce. We have a truce. And if Spider-Man's there, I'd make the joke like I was going after somebody and Josh Smith just put his finger on my chest because Spider-Man, and I'm as Joker, like, how are you holding me back with just your finger? This is insane. Like the idea is you can blend the character creativity to fit the event. And that's kind of why I put the picture up.
Angel and I do the Queen of Hearts, and she does the White Rabbit, and people will look at me and she goes, no, I'm here to make sure she behaves today. No heads, no heads.
Exactly.
You know, we always find a way. So we always find a way to make it work. And we have a few viewer submissions, and actually several of them are Cosplay Memphis members as well. Speaking of which, here is lovely Miss Angel in all of her different costumed glory. She is quite prolific. This is one of our newest members. I don't know if you've gotten to this right here. Isabella, Mushroom Fairy. She just joined us late.
No, I have not met.
She is a theater kid, so I'm sure if she ever got to play off you guys would have a lot of fun. And then Honey Blossom Cosplay. She's up in Jackson, Tennessee. She comes down for the superhero day in Selmer. For the child.
Oh yes, that's my Riddler at Selmer. That's the Riddler that hangs out with the Joker when we're down at Selmer. I know that.
And then this last one is our very newest Cosplay Memphis member. And I could have picked a lot of pictures of her, but I asked this particular one. This is what it's about right here.
Yes.
This little boy at the Pink Palace literally walked past every single character and walked right to Merida and hugged her.
Aww.
And that I asked her, I said, Kaylee, can I please share that picture? And she said, go for it. Because that moment is what she had been wanting as a cosplayer. And when she joined us, I mean, she dove in October and did multiple events with us. And that I was standing there, like I'm the dress next to her. And I'm just like, I'm melting watching this happen because.
How could you not?
How exactly? You can't. And really quick before we get into our last little bit, we have a donation total so far. We're at $250 of our $1,500 goal. A few hours into this, so that is great. Please keep donating to Comic Books for Kids. It is an amazing charity that balances with this cosplay volunteer work. So maybe one day we can hand out some books that they give. We can go to Le Bonheur and say, here's a comic with me on it. You know, that's what's really fun at Selmer is they try to get those comics that match the characters, and then they give kids pins. The first time a little girl walked up to me, because the first year I did that event, I've only done it as Captain Carter because they keep asking me to bring Carter back. This little girl walked up to me with the Captain Carter comic and said, can I have your autograph? And I'm over here about to melt, trying to balance a comic book on my shield and sign it. But I'm like, this little girl had a hero she could look up to, and it really meant a lot.
And I will say, I've had that same experience, but there are kids that will be like, wow, there's Luke Skywalker. Wow, there's Han Solo. Oh man, there's Chewbacca. But then there'll be one kid who goes, is that Darth Vader? And then I don't care who else is here. Exactly. There's Vader. There are kids who want the villain. And when they see the villain, they know it's a character. They know it's all fun and games, but that's the character they connect to. And that's the
That's
great thing about doing Cosplay Memphis is that we bring Marvel, DC, Star Wars, we bring the different genres, the Disney, the pirating, all these things, they come together because there'd be one kid's like, as Batman, I don't care about Batman.
Yeah.
Then they see Miles Morales and they're like, they see Rodney, who does an amazing Miles Morales.
There is no other Miles.
But Rodney he has a heart and a talent for this, and he's so good. Josh, the same with Peter Parker, Spider-Man. How the kids, because when the kids come up and start talking to him, they know the character. They
And
talk.
these kids will grill you.
Yeah.
They know their stuff, and if you don't, then they're like, oh, never mind.
And I follow, as Jeremy said, I follow. It's like I don't break character till the DVD commentary, because Jeremy's like, if we're going, it's like we'll go out to eat afterward, and if I'm still wearing makeup, you going out to dinner with the Joker.
It's
and
been
Rodney,
fun.
unfortunately, was sat next to the Joker one day, and to this day, he won't sit next to me.
But that's so much fun. It makes we'll go after an event to dinner. And the waitresses will be like, and we're like, hi. They're just like, what is happening here? Oh, we lost your sound. There you go.
Oh, did we lose you?
We lost your sound for.
We can't hear you. Oh no!
We lost your sound, Chris.
Did you? Is it on mute?
No.
Sometimes. No.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh. No.
Okay. You're on mute now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So this year, knock on wood, fingers crossed, I'll be doing Cosplay Memphis as my first Disney character.
Wait, I know what this one is because we've talked about this.
What?
So I will be bringing the man himself, Captain Charisma, the Lord of the Underworld, Hades, to life.
And I want to
shout out to John Scanlon because he did the toga and the tunic for me.
That means I've got to get Meg done so we can be.
Yes,
really
Megara. Oh,
there's a number of people you're going to have to fight because there's been a number of people that have been like, I'm going to be Megan, I'm going to be Payne and Payne.
oh.
For Cosplay Memphis.
I don't know. This has been one of the most requested things people have asked me to do is be Hades.
I don't know if we have anybody else in Cosplay Memphis that wants to do it, so we can be the sassy pair together. So before we do our last videos, I'm going to give you the full screen and let you give your advice to new cosplayers looking to both get into it and volunteer work. So you get to be the full screen, man.
Well, hello everybody, and if you are interested in getting into charity work with costuming or cosplay, that's absolutely great. So here are some tips. I just want to remind you, like we've been saying, number one, remember to be professional. You want to be on time. You want to be ready to go. You want to listen to what your host or the organization wants. You want to be respectful to the audience, and remember, it's not about you, it's about them. You are there to entertain or bring a little special magic to the event. And also, never take no as a personal shot, because costuming for a lot of things, there's like the theaters in Memphis do not want costumers to show up at movie premieres. Nashville, other towns, no problem. In Memphis, no. And in Cosplay Memphis, we've never taken that as an insult. We've never taken that as a personal attack. It's just the way it is. You have to adapt to your audience. You have to adapt to what the people want. And remember, it's cosplay is for everybody, but charity cosplay is a service. You're doing this for other people. You get so much out of it. You get such a feeling of service and of just bringing that magic and that character that you love to life to entertain other people. And sometimes when they desperately need that entertainment. But remember, you're doing it for others, and you really need to keep that mindset. Otherwise, there's so many great organizations out there. And if you live in an area where there's not that organization, reach out to organizations that you know of and get their methods, how they started it up. Because Cosplay Memphis, the 501st, the Mandalorian Mercs, the different pirate groups, all of these costuming charity groups will always be good to lend you an ear and give you advice about how to get started if you're in an area where you don't have an organization. Or they can at least tell you what they did to get started. And don't give up. Go for it. And if you have a dream character that you want to be, work to achieve it. There was a long time in my life I would love to be Captain America or Batman, but there's a period in my life where it was not going to be believable if I showed up as Captain America or Batman. And if I wanted that, I would strive to make myself fit that character. And you can do that. You can do that. Just make sure that you're going in this for the right reason. That's the last thing I want to say. Make sure that when you're doing charity work, you're doing it to make other people feel good. If you're doing it for likes, if you're thinking this is going to be a way to grow your brand or your attention, please stop. Push that aside. Go for that costuming thing. Go be the influencer. Go be a cosplay guest if that's what you want to go for. But when it comes to charity stuff, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and you will reap so many benefits out of it. Yeah, I can't even begin to tell you or describe really what the feeling is like when you make that connection with the audience, especially people that really need a laugh or really need that smile. And you are Batman, you are Captain Marvel, you are Captain Carter, you are Darth Vader, you are Han Solo, or the Joker. You are the character in their eyes, and you're taking them out of that bad moment. There's no feeling like it. It's absolutely wonderful. And I want everybody to have that feeling. I really do. So there you go, pep talk. I was going to do it as the Joker, but it just would have sounded completely insincere.
That is amazing, amazing. Like, honestly, like everything you're saying, I'm like almost in tears listening to you say it because it's so true.
So yeah, Joker would have killed that vibe immediately.
So where can everybody find you online?
So on Instagram, Facebook. I just now launched Blue Sky. I got off the TikTok. At the Jowers, I've been able to keep that handle. You can find me at the Jowers. I'm going to be launching a lot of voice acting stuff coming up here this year, and I would love to share it with people. Oh, thank you, Clyde. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
that's where you can find me. And we'll, of course, if you're in the Memphis area, if you're in the Mid-South area, oh, thank you, Hollis. Thank you. Even though you didn't cast me in your audio play this year, but thank you. I appreciate that.
We're going to inflate your ego. That's fine.
But I do want to say, if you're in the Memphis area, reach out to Cosplay Memphis. We're always looking for good people. If you're a Star Wars person, look up your 501st chapter, look up your Mandalorian Mercs chapter. I cannot say enough great thing about these organizations. We've worked with them ever since got Cosplay Memphis started, and they are just some absolutely, truly wonderful people. I have not had a bad experience with a member or an organization with these folks. Are absolutely gold. And I say the same thing with the Cosplay Memphis people. I absolutely adore each and every one of them, except Jeremy, who abandoned us to New Zealand. All of them are great. All of them are great people. Save Jeremy. He abandoned us. He's a traitor. That's all.
That elf went to live with the hobbits. Aubrey, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Miss Kindred Ivy on Instagram. That's primarily where I live at. And usually at Back of the Cereal Box podcast. But unfortunately, right now we are on break due to some health situations.
And again, shout out to John. We hope he gets 1,000% better quickly.
Yeah.
He is an absolutely stellar person.
No more hospital.
Who is backed and hustled.
Right? I'm done with the ER hopefully for a while. I'll be healing myself. So.
Right.
And you get to take care of yourself too.
Media Rice on Instagram, I on Blue Sky now, or Andrea Starnes on Facebook. And we have one video that we're going to play, and I'm going to get really emotional right now.
Oh, one second. Before you do that, I want to say one thing. Folks, if those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you from personal experience. Andrea is absolutely stellar at these events. I've seen her as Captain Marvel. I've seen her as Captain Carter. Those are my two. Those are the ones that I like the most. And folks, let me tell you, absolutely top notch.
Thank you.
Absolutely top notch. And Aubrey, gold. Solid gold. And it's hard to say because she's wearing that outfit, which I'm not a fan of. But she's absolute gold as well.
So the Memphis community a little over a week ago lost a very, very dear friend to cancer, Bree. And because of many reasons, a lot of us are doing tributes for her. And Kelly was very, very kind to put together a tribute video of photos from Bree's friends. I've watched it. I have cried. I have cried a lot since she passed. It wasn't fair. She was only 34 years old. Hug your cosplay friends, guys, because you don't know. You never know. But we're going to play this video, and then we'll play our fundraiser video. But thank you to Kelly for making this. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Thank you, Aubrey, for being my co-host. I'm going to cry behind the camera as soon as I play this video. And so please just hug your friends, guys. And we will see y'all later.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is partnering with Comic Books for Kids to raise money for their cause. Their mission is to provide comic books to children in hospitals and cancer centers across the United States, Canada, and the UK. We believe in the importance of providing stories that promote hope and bravery to kids who are facing things that are scarier than any supervillain. And we truly believe in this cause. To donate, you can either go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/The Multiverse Fundraiser or directly to comicbooksforkids.org.
The Multiverse Fundraiser would like to thank our sponsors: Earth Dog Studios, Clobberin Comics, The Art of Brian Rodman, Studio Moonfall, Elusive Comics, and of course, the Phoenix Sisters Entertainment Network for hosting this event. Learn how to support these businesses on the MVFR website.